They were led straight to their deaths. 50 main battle tanks, 70 armored vehicles, and more than 600 troops, all sent into the grinder. This is the story of how a steel serpent worth hundreds of millions of dollars was decapitated by a handful of men on motorcycles and a swarm of cheap plastic drones. A story of ingenuity versus brute force. A story of David versus a very, very foolish Goliath. Dawn, August 7th, 2025. The wheat fields of eastern Zaporizhzhia lie cold and gray beneath a flat sky. At 5:45 a.m., diplomacy doesn't just fail, it shatters. Russia issues its final ultimatum: withdraw every Ukrainian unit within 50 kilometers or face overwhelming force. President Zelensky's reply is transmitted to the front in 3 words:
"Not one step back!"
Engines ignite at the captured airfield near Melitopol. A convoy of over 120 armored vehicles begins to move, a river of steel stretching 3.4 kilometers, advancing at 28 kilometers per hour. 50 T-90M tanks lead the line, each armed with a 125mm cannon capable of turning bunkers to dust. 70 BMP-3s roll beside them, loaded with infantry, fuel trucks, supply carriers, ammunition haulers. Together they form a living serpent of iron and diesel. It is the very image of conventional military power, and every meter of it is being watched. 100 kilometers away, deep beneath Dnipro, General Mikhail Havlenko studies a live satellite feed. He sees the serpent. He sees the threat. At 6:12 a.m., the order comes through: execute. The first phase begins in silence. At 6:28 a.m., 20 reconnaissance drones rise from hidden positions, their thermal optics painting every Russian vehicle with a digital marker. The serpent's head, body, and soft underbelly are mapped in real time. Data flows not only to headquarters, but to dozens of small drone teams waiting in forests and behind ridges, men sitting in silence beside their flying bombs. 80 low-cost suicide drones are armed and launched. Each costs less than $4,000, but carries a 12-kilogram shaped charge capable of melting through tank armor. Their mission: don't just strike the column, break it. And at 6:32 a.m., the first impact hits. A drone slams into the lead BMP-3 at 140 kilometers per hour, flying only 5 meters above the wheat. The explosion flips the vehicle on its side. Moments later, another drone finds an ammunition truck. A fireball climbs into the sky. In seconds, 40 Russian soldiers are gone, and the convoy dissolves into panic. Autocannons spin skyward. PKM machine guns blaze tracer fire. A furious but useless response. For every drone shot down, 5 more slip through. Precision and chaos intertwine. The serpent bleeds, but it isn't dead yet. Phase 2 begins. From concealed positions, 40 quadcopters lift off, each carrying a single TM-62 anti-tank mine. They're slow, obvious, and deliberately sacrificial. Russian gunners open fire, exactly as intended. Each time, a 30mm round tears through a quadcopter. The mine detonates mid-air, raining shrapnel over the exposed crews below. Every trigger pull becomes an act of self-destruction. Then disaster strikes. The main command and control UAV is hit. The video feed to Havlenko's bunker cuts out for 90 seconds. Without eyes, the drones drift, the mortar teams wait, and the motorcycle units have no guidance. The entire operation hangs by a thread until a young sergeant named Mikola acts on instinct. Using a small commercial drone he bought himself, he regains visual contact with the battlefield and radios live coordinates straight to the mortar teams and biker leaders. His quick thinking saves the plan. The Russian convoy is now chaos. Vehicles burning, columns jammed, discipline shattered. And that's when the wolves arrive. 200 Ukrainian soldiers on lightweight dirt bikes burst from the tree lines. Engines scream. They split into 3 wings and attack from different angles. Each bike carries a driver and a gunner armed with RPG-26, or wire-guided missiles. They dart between wrecks, fire from 20 meters, and vanish in seconds. Speed is armor. Within minutes, they disable 21 vehicles and destroy multiple tanks. Behind them, fuel trucks ignite. Massive columns of flame mark the end of the Russian offensive. In under 1 hour, the entire assault collapses. White flags rise from hatches. Smoke drifts across the wheat. The serpent is dead. When the sun climbs higher, the scale of destruction becomes clear. 29 armored vehicles destroyed, 11 disabled, over 140 Russian killed, 180 captured. Ukrainian losses: 4 riders. This battle wasn't won by flawless heroes or perfect machines. It was won by a general willing to gamble, by a sergeant who refused to freeze, and by riders who gave everything for those beside them. In the end, the greatest weapon on any battlefield isn't steel or circuitry. It's the spirit of those who refuse to break.